Good morning to the YouTubes, the internet people, the people that are on the internet. I am in Austin, Texas, United States of America. I am here working with Giorgio Armani on their film festival collaboration, but there's more of that in my South by Southwest vlog. So on Twitter, I asked you guys to ask me questions because we haven't had a sit-down Q&A in ages. And sometimes it's just kind of cool to touch base because when you're doing vlogging and there's lots of things going on, communication of like life and stuff gets left behind. So let's have a look. Oh, starting with a deep one. Christopher says, what are your career plans for the future? I'm in the process of setting up a print shop. Not a print shop, but setting up prints to sell. I'm carrying on with the YouTubes because I really enjoy it and it's a great platform and I really love kind of sharing my travels. Okay, Asylum says, so say you're having a really shit day and you need to get that fire back. What's your go-to hustle motivation song? Ready?
Move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
I'm kidding, it's actually not. I really dislike that song. Signy says, what's the best and worst part of having a boyfriend that's having the same travel lifestyle as you? There's not many negatives. I really enjoy it, especially now that we can travel together. I mean, what more would you want? To be able to travel the world with your partner. So there's not much complaining. Craig Mandy says, what do you and Ben argue about the most when on a road trip? I guess the main thing we would argue about is planning. I'm a planning person. I like to know what the next step is. I don't need to know what the next 3 steps are, just the next step. Even if it's, I just need to know where we sleep in that evening. For me, when I wake up, that'll be the first thought. Like, okay, we're on the road. We don't have a plan for this evening. What could it be? Whereas Ben is like, it'll kind of all work out. I mean, maybe we'll argue about the odd thing if one of us gets tired or grumpy, but it's never anything serious. Steven says, what's your impression of South by and Austin, Texas? Very different to what I imagined. I don't know why. It's probably from the movies. I think it's a really awesome place. It's full of quirky little places. The food is incredible. Lots of great restaurants. South by is obviously, it's mental. Like, it's almost like there's too much going on, to be honest. Yeah, as I said, I walked into the convention center and I just kind of stood at the top of the escalators looking down because I was so overwhelmed with how many people they were just coming in and out of like thousands of different venues. I think South by is a lot more fun if you come with a group of people. Obviously I've come by myself and in my free time I kind of just wander around the streets and kind of go into the different venues and see what's up. But yeah, I kind of miss having like a group of people. Matthew says, do you get nervous when doing events like South by without Ben? No, I don't. This event, however, was the one event that I didn't want to go in alone for. Doing work with Armani, although it's incredible, the fashion stuff is a little bit out of my comfort zone in terms of A, knowledge in the industry, B, capturing images for this. A lot of it was meant to be based, Ben taking images of me and myself taking images of him. Luckily, I'm meeting up with a bunch of friends later this evening and they're going to help me out. But that's one of the great parts about traveling, is when you go in alone, you're kind of forced out of your comfort zone. Athera says, are you not using your blog that often anymore? Good question. I was actually chatting to someone about this the other day, and his words stuck with me. Just keep writing. You need to keep writing. I think it forces a lot of honesty out of people when they sit down and write, instead of when you're in front of a video where it's easy to not act falsely, but to put on a bit of a front. When you're writing, it's like you're exposed. Yeah, after I chatted to him, I kind of thought about it and I was like, you know what? You are completely right. Elfie says, if there was one celebrity to travel around the world with, who would it be and why? Zac Efron. Why? Mila Kunis. I feel like Mila Kunis would be quite fun. Also, she's kind of a girl crush, so. Rebecca says, will you do more travel alone, like when you went to Uberton? We need more inspiring girl travelers. You know what? Nadine is the perfect example of an inspiring girl traveler. She kind of just does all these missions by herself, and it's so awesome to watch because, yeah, she is the definition of girl power. I will definitely travel alone, of course, if the opportunity presents itself. And Overton was absolutely incredible. It was the wildest week of my life. It was absolutely wild, but it was great. That was for ski week, guys. There is actually a video. It'll play here. Greggy V says, when will the Ben and Nicole Pumbaa tricks begin? Pumbaa is Ben's Land Rover. Defender, it's been having a bit of trouble, as Defenders do. And we have just finally got it fixed. At the moment, it's completely stripped and it's getting its interior done, it's getting its seats reupholstered, it's getting new carpets put in because it's an old car. She's an old mama, or he, I'm not sure what gender it is. We have a trip planned in June, July to go up to Kenya for the mass migration. We're covering all the Southern Africa countries. So that's our next big trip. So we will do the main trip by ourselves, and then the aim is to get people to join in on different legs of the trips to experience different parts of the journey with us. Jack in the vlog says, what's the best country you've been to and why? Hands down Canada. Like, just wins by a mile. I really miss Canada. I miss the snow, I miss the mountains, I miss the fresh air, I miss the wide open spaces, I miss the snowboarding. And the only memories I have associated with Canada is being with good friends and having the best time ever, just getting off the grid and doing whatever we want to do. Clouds Will Roll says, what do you use to edit your videos? I use Adobe Premiere Pro CC. Sean says, would you ever consider veganism? Using the V word in my vlogs. You know, I did kind of consider it when Ben went vegan, coming from South Africa. We do eat a lot of meat there. Braais, biltong, which is my favorite food ever. It's really good. Never say never. I don't know. I don't know if I would go vegan. I don't think I would go vegan, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe I should turn the comments off. I don't even know if I'm gonna put this in. Chris Rogers, what is your top 5 bucket list destinations right now? Indonesia, Canada, then Ngorongoro Crater. I want to go to Kenya for the mass migration, Fiji, Sri Lanka actually. Helena says, of all the pet peeves, which is your strangest? I don't think it's strange, but my number one pet peeve is when smokers throw their cigarette butts out the window. I still don't quite comprehend why the environment and other people who don't smoke have to deal with smokers' property all over the place. Yeah, that really pisses me off, seriously. When you're in public and people, they sniff their snot back really loud and they go like that, do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's gross, don't do that. Mac and Teens, hey Nicole, what tips would you give to help improve photography skills? Just keep going at it, just keep fiddling with different settings, in different lights, in different environments where the settings are always different and you have to keep changing them. Fiddle with all the settings ever. That's what I would do. Just spend hours taking photos, realizing what's wrong, realizing what you need to change, redoing it until you kind of know what you're working with. Marina says, do you have plans coming to Japan? Marina, I have plans to go everywhere. I would love to go to Japan to come snowboard though. Fiona says, who inspires you? Often it's not a question of who inspires me, but what inspires me. For example, I often gain writing inspiration from being outdoors in like happy places. On YouTube, Eric Connor's Bali travel series vlogs have been incredible. Of course, Casey, the ever inspiring Casey, and the zero shits he gives when he vlogs in public. Couple Film said, would you say you're more introverted or extroverted? How does that come into play with travel and YouTube? I actually did a test when I was at school and I sat directly on the line. Yeah, I'm more quiet when I'm in a larger group of people. I tend to kind of listen more. But when I'm in a smaller group of people, I tend to speak more. I think I lie half and half. How does it come into play with travel and YouTube? I think it's perfect. Even if you're a complete introvert, YouTube or talking to the camera allows you to have a voice. And I think many people maybe find that a form of escapism for them. That answers all of your very interesting and fun and awesome questions. Thank you so much for sending them through. Maybe we can try to do it like once a month or something. I am going to go enjoy my last 2 days in Austin, Texas. and I will see you guys back in Cape Town very, very soon. Have a rad week.